right, welcome to it. It's the Steve Gruber Show, special programming from McAllen, Texas. We're down here because we had a chance to come down with Americans for Prosperity to see the border. And I said, I've got to take that opportunity. I really do. And so that's where we're headed again today. We're going to be talking about the border. We had a chance to go look at it yesterday. It is remarkable, really. We were just outside of Mission, Texas yesterday, where Austin's my photographer that I met here to do this job. And it's mind-blowing. You've got big chunks of wall, which, by the way, I was told was George W. wall. Apparently, each section of wall from different administrations is very distinct. I didn't know that. You got George W. wall, you've got Barack Obama wall, you've got Donald Trump wall, and, of course, you've got Joe Biden wall, because he didn't build a wall, he started to tear it down. Brilliant. So McAllen, Texas, a city of about 200,000 people that has been impacted greatly by the influx of the illegals coming in, no question about that. And we're going to hear here in a few minutes from a pastor at the New Life Christian Church who says it looks normal on the surface, because it does. You come through McAllen, it's a nice-looking city, well taken care of, nice parks, country club we came by on our way in from the airport. And on the surface, you wouldn't think much about it. But because of the border crisis, and it surges, here's what happens. They'll find, they being the cartels, the coyotes, the people moving drugs and paraphernalia and people across the border, will go from spot to spot. Right now, they've moved west toward Eagle Pass and Del Rio, and even farther west now into Arizona and New Mexico. That's what we're being told by people here that know how this is working. They said they'll be back to McAllen because they'll come back and they'll switch back. They also said this: there are chunks of fence, which you'll see in some of these conversations we have. And the chunks of fence are there, and then they're not there. And they said after those pieces of wall, if you will, were put in, people move to other places. They go to a place of less resistance. It's pretty clear. Will the walls keep everybody out? No, they will not. But they do stop people in certain areas, or slow them down, or divert them to another section that is being put under siege. So you look at, and here's the one question that nobody can answer. I'm going to ask this of several people. I've got Eli Lotta coming up from New Life Church. I've got Chris Clem, who's going to join me here in a minute. He spent 27 years as the chief Border Patrol agent for the Yuma sector in Arizona. I had a chance to talk to him last night at a gathering. Boy, is he an interesting guy. Boy, has he seen a lot. Boy, does he understand the problem we're facing. And he said the same thing that I've been saying. Same thing a lot of people have been saying, which is, there's this whole cry about immigration reform. And that's all fine and well, but in order to get on the road to immigration reform, you have to start by enforcing the laws that are already on the books. That's the bare minimum. And then go back to what we were doing previously. Now, one of the places I stood on the border yesterday, we were just outside of Mission, Texas. Matamoros, Mexico, was about a mile, maybe a mile and a half as the crow flies from where we stood, okay? In Matamoros, they have a big refugee camp of about 2,000 people. And they're the ones using the app. The United States government gave an asylum app. So they sit there, and every day they look at their phone and they check and see if they're ready to come in or not, because they've got an asylum hearing. Excuse me. And so they've been there for months. Some of them spend 6-8 months there in this camp, and apparently the camp is squalor. We're going to see some of that today. You'll be able to see some of that on the program tomorrow. We're going to share it with you. And because here's the thing. The reason I came here was to be more informed so that you can be more informed. I want to be here to understand it as well as I can so I can share with you. And we've already gotten a wide variety of opinions. Some people say we need immigration reform. That's the first and foremost thing. I disagree with that point of view. Some people say we have to start with the basics of enforcing the law. I agree with that. Go back to the Remain in Mexico policy. I agree with that. Some people have cited Title 42 that was in effect during the pandemic and then lifted as part of the problem. Maybe, but not. But look, except for 2019, which had about 800,000 people come in illegally, the amount of illegal aliens coming into this country was consistent for 12 or 15 years, 300,000 to 400,000. Barack Obama's administration, George W. Bush's administration, Donald Trump's administration, 300,000 to 400,000. That's still too many, but it was consistent, and then it exploded when Joe Biden came into office and issued more than 92 executive orders, eliminating Remain in Mexico, eliminating a lot of the rules, Catch and release was brought back. Asylum seekers. There's one place, by the way, if we're going to clean up our immigration system, is to change the way we accept people that say, I'm seeking asylum. You know, just running away from home because you don't like it is not a legitimate basis for asylum. If you're being targeted because of your political beliefs or your religious beliefs, that's a legitimate path for asylum. All these other things are not. Furthermore, they want to, some of the folks that we're going to talk to and hear from, want to streamline the way that people can come into the country, seasonal workers, work for 4, 5, 6 months. Maybe they're in landscaping, maybe they're in agriculture, doesn't matter. They come in, they do their job, they go home. Look, Mexico doesn't want to change this. Why would they? You've got people that come into this country illegally. They're here, many of them making money however they are, and mailing that money back to Mexico. It's a great opportunity for Mexico. You look at Catholic Social Services. You look at Bethany Christian Services. And you realize these are, excuse me again, these are business plans. These people are making a fortune off this deal. They get paid $200, $300, $400 per person per day. Some places we've been told as high as $1,500. I've not been able to verify that, but if you have a couple of hundred people in your care and you're getting $400 or $500 a day, well, the math is pretty obvious. It's millions of dollars a month that's coming in and flowing into your coffers, right? So that's one of the driving forces that keeps the border open. It's not right. You, the taxpayer, get charged. Now, in the state of Michigan, where I live, a new plan, I want to know what you think of this. I want you to send me an email on this. Michigan, the latest state to say, hey, we need volunteers to take in illegal aliens from all over the world. Might be from Venezuela, might be from Mexico, might be from Guatemala, might be from China or the Central African Republic. Would you take illegals into your house, try to teach them about America? Would you do that? Michigan's the latest state asking for volunteers that would be expected to support the newly arrived refugees by greeting them at the airport, securing and preparing initial housing for them, and getting them ready to, well, to become citizens, apparently, because that's what it looks like, right? Michigan, one of those places where you have the motor voter laws, so as soon as you get a driver's license, which they're also trying to do under the tutelage of Governor Whitmer, get driver's licenses for illegals, well, then, boom, you're almost automatically going to get a voter registration card. You're going to be, the motor voter law, you're going to be signed up to vote. What could possibly go wrong with that? Illegals by the thousands coming in, getting registered to vote automatically. You can see where that goes. All right, so coming up after the break, Eli Latta. He is a pastor at a local church here in McAllen, Texas. Graduated from high school here in 1985. He has seen the human price of the humanitarian crisis of the border being open. We'll have that story when we come back on the Steve Gruber Show.